Also, one thing though, I did want to address this before JR ends it. When Ali and Enter the Dragon were talking about women opting out, right? It was derived from Miss Pearl's statement where she said sometimes we're tired. So Enter the Dragon was talking about how there's no instance where men can opt out of their responsibility just willingly and it be mostly okay. Yes, there are examples where men walk away from their responsibility and mother, you can't make a motherfucker stay who don't want to stay, but it's largely not okay for them to do that. Even if you talk about within a relationship, there's hardly ever a time where a man can say, I'm too tired to go to work, so I'm just not going to do it. I'm too tired to take care of the family, so I'm just not going to do it. Whereas women can oftentimes tell us what they're not going to do in a relationship because they're tired of doing it. And they can go out to society and tell them, I'm tired of doing this. And society will be like, all right, well, if you're not getting what you want out of that, it's okay to walk away. We can't go and be like, hey, y'all, you know, man, I've been busting my ass for this family. I don't feel like working no more, man. I'm ready to leave this woman. The expectation of the load of taking care of this family is too much for me. I'm ready to go. It would never be mostly accepted. And that's what we're talking about. It's not even just about who files for divorce more. It's about even in divorce, our social contract is still there, at least to the woman and children. Even in divorce, he is still expected. If he makes more money than her and she had to live off of him, he's expected to take care of her and them kids. Even if he only makes $60,000 and she made nothing. If he earns more than her, he's going to be expected to pay her and take care of those children financially. She has no responsibility to that man once she files for divorce or once she leaves him. Our social contract is still expected.
Enforced. It's not expected. It's enforced. It is enforced.
But so there, I think that given a good reason, because we have to understand the reasons why women are like, I'm tired. There's no empathy there to understand why the woman says she's tired. Now, flippantly, I'm just tired. No woman is going to condone that. Like you're going to condone a woman just leaving her family because she woke up and she was unhappy for absolutely no reason. There are women that have done that and they're not widely accepted. But we are acting like these women don't have a good reason for feeling this way. And I get it. Y'all are men. Y'all don't understand. I woke up one day and was like, I'm going to find me an apartment because I was tired of the same old and nothing being fixed. I was a shell of my own self and I was tired. So I got up, I found an apartment and I moved. So I want y'all to understand, like, well, I ain't have no kids. I didn't leave no kids. I just left the husband. We can't hear you, Ilkan. You're muted.
On the computer.
You're muted on the actual stage. There you go.
Good now?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What needed to be fixed?
Too many things to name. Way too many things to name. We can get into it off this live, but so many things.
The reason why I ask is the modern man has to help with cooking. He has to help with cleaning. He has to help with raising the kids. He has to help with being home with the kids. He has to help with washing the clothes.
No, I know.
No, let me
Go ahead.
The woman can say, I don't feel like being with the kids today. The woman can say, I don't feel like having sex today. The woman can say, I don't feel like cooking today. Sweeney, I don't feel like working anymore. Can I come home? I don't want to work anymore. The man is always obligated, where the woman always has the option to not do her job and is supported by society. That's all I'm saying. And this is what I was going to ask you, Bo. Mm-hmm. Tell me the core responsibilities that a man has that he can take a break from versus the core responsibilities that women have they can always take breaks from. What is the core responsibility that a man can take a break from?
Children.
How?
Okay, so for a minute there, I didn't know what she meant by being tired and I'm tired of all this. I got myself an apartment. I can only speculate that it must have been the context of a relationship that wasn't working, right? Um, I mean, when we're talking about a house or a car, I mean, those are finite things. You call a plumber or you call a construction worker, you call somebody to fix these things. But if we're talking about a relationship, you pick up, you pack up, and you leave, right? In that context, so I'm thinking that she meant the context of a relationship that needed to be fixed. There were so many things that were broken that couldn't be fixed. So I'm thinking that's in the context of a relationship, which means she was tired of dealing with all of the things that were broken about the relationship that couldn't be fixed. So she got herself an apartment, or packed up everything and got herself an apartment, and then she's done with it. At least that's what I'm speculating on. Um, and um, and when we're talking about tired, the word tired means that that you've exhausted all of your energy in the context of either a job or a relationship or something like that. You're tired, meaning you have no energy left to give to this thing. So the point I made earlier, I don't have a clip of that. I mean, there is a clip of that, I'm sure. But I was saying that it doesn't matter the context of anything when it comes to men. Men don't have the option to just say, I'm tired and I'm checking out, or I'm tired of paying bills, so I won't pay the bills this month or next month or whatever. I'm still tired. Well, I'm tired, so I don't want to go to work today. And I think I used the work as an example. I said, if can you imagine a man saying, oh yeah, I'm tired, I'm taking a me day. You get fired. Someone else will do that job. That is like, our obligations aren't something that we get to opt out of at any point. I mean, we can say, I'm tired of taking out the trash, but the trash is going to pile up and fuckify the whole house. So it doesn't matter how tired we are, we just can't opt out of our obligations and responsibilities, such as women like women can. And that was the point I did make earlier, that Sweeney was speaking to. So like I said, we're talking about that context. So when Ilkan Ali was talking about, well, what can we opt out of, that women don't, women can opt out of anything, out of almost anything. So what exactly can a man opt out of if he's tired? And so Bo says children. So this is within the context of children. This is what we're discussing.
They do it every day, even in marriage. Do you know how many single mothers are married with the husband in the house?
No.
There are a lot of men. I am a product. I'm a product of a man being in the house and not being a parent until it was time to beat ass. I'm just saying, like, men do it every day. Men are very hands off with their kids. But the men that you're talking about that actually take care of their kids, I get it. Like, this is where two things can be true at the same time. I am telling a truth, and so are you. I'm not discounting what you're saying or what Sweeney's saying or Enter the Dragon. I'm not, like, all of y'all are telling the truth, but so am I. That's all I'm saying.
No. When you say kids, the man's core responsibility is he's supposed to be at work. The woman would be with the children. That was her core responsibility.
You all have a physical responsibility to take care of those children as well.
She's supposed to implement what I taught the kid. That's the reason why the woman used to be there, where the man would go to work and the woman would raise the children, and she'd implement what he gave her. That used to be a traditional man went to work and the traditional woman was at home, and I came on and gave her my check, and you better do what your mama said. She was my other half.
Right.
So that used to be so I'm saying, what is the core responsibility that the man takes breaks from? You can't say the children part, because that was the woman's core responsibility. I get where you're coming from, though. I know what you're saying. But what is
that was an added responsibility to men. Like being the same person
that wasn't my job.
Y'all are is an added responsibility.
Yeah, that wasn't my job.
Modern day.
But you are not a husband. You are a father, and as a father, you are a parent, and you have parental duties. When you get
I'm just-
home, those kids are yours. When you go to work, great, fine, the woman is there. But when you come home, those kids are yours. And you have a physical responsibility to those kids when you are in that house. And there are a lot of men that are not physically present with their children when they are physically in the home. They will largely ignore those kids. I'm talking about drinking a beer, sitting on the chair, sitting in a chair, watching the game.
Okay.
And was in the house, and my mother was the one we always went to because he was unavailable to us. That's what I'm saying. You all still have a physical responsibility to those kids when you have time at home.
That's what
I agree. First of all, I agree. And second, I understand about the father who comes home from work, checks out into the man cave, and the kids can be heard throughout the house. And the only person who's dealing with it is mama, who has to also cook and handle everything else while the man just sits there. I get that. And that is a kind of common or average kind of modern lifestyle. But when it comes to discipline and when it comes to structure and when it comes to, okay, don't let me get your dad, like we do physically have to show up to discipline those kids if they're running you rampant, right? We do take command of the household when need be. So if this burden of parenting gets too great for you, that's really when you need to be using the man that you have to enforce that discipline and let them kids know they can't just act any kind of way, because there are consequences that the father and only the father can implement that the children do not want.